Hey, everybody, welcome to the Spark. Hope you're doing fantastic on today. And I hope that everything is moving in the right direction for you. I'm Coach David. I'm the author of the book, You Are the Architect of Your Life, where I talk about how you are the one that actually designs, builds, and lives your life. I hope that you'll pick up a copy of that because it will help you tremendously as you're designing, building, and living your life. Once again, welcome. I'm glad you're here. Hey, why don't you reach out to somebody and let them know Coach David is on and he's going to bring us something today that's going to take us to a new height, a new level, and give us something that we can go on for this week in order to make our lives better, because that's what it's all about for me. It's helping you have the best life that you could possibly have. Today, I want to share with you kind of a continuation from last week. We were talking about your self image when it comes to doubting yourself. And we began to dig into that self image. But I want to go a little deeper today. And I really want to entitle this one, You and Your Self Image. What to do about it. I want to say that again. You and your self image. What to do about it. It is so vitally important that we understand our self-image, that we understand where it derived from, what's building it, what's causing us to be the way that we are in order that we can be our best selves. Your self-image is your concept of the sort of person that you are. And when you start looking at that, it's really just a picture that you have built of yourself. Your self image is just that picture that you built of yourself. And I'm going to say this, and a lot of people may argue with this. A lot of times the picture may be false. In many cases, it's false. It's a false picture that we've built of ourselves. And, building your self image is an ongoing thing. You do it day by day by day. The thing that I want you to get and to understand is that a lot of times we act as if it's a true picture. I'm going to say that again and I'm going to emphasize something. We act as if it's a true picture. And here's the thing about that. If you're doing that and you're acting as if, and I keep emphasizing as if, because later on we're going to come back to that. If you act as if that is the truth of you, you're going to perform at the level of your self image. And sometimes we don't like the level that we perform at. But what we have to understand is that we built this self image of us and we can perform no higher than our self image. That's why it's so important that you understand your self image and you understand what to do about it. Your actions and your emotions, hear this out, is consistent with your self image. I'm going to say that again. The way you act, the way you behave, the way you feel, it is consistent with your self image. You have to understand that. You will act like the person that you think you are. Yeah, of course you will. You're going to act like that person. And here's another really, really key point about this. You are going to find a way to prove that your self image is. Now, I'm saying all of this and I'm kind of coming at you really strong this morning because I want you to get an understanding of this self image. I want you to get an understanding that it is as if it is true. So here's the thing about it. Your self-image is the results of your past experiences, whether they were successes, whether they were failures, your triumphs, your defeat, and how people reacted to you. And this all began at a very early age in your early childhood. Now, you have this image, this picture of yourself. But here's the thing about it. You have this, and what if you don't like the image? Or what if you desire something more? What if you want to go to a new level and everything? You can only go to the level of your self image. So that's bad news, and that's good news too. And I want to help you understand on today that you can go beyond. You can go to the next level. Many people, because of the way that they were raised, they have this self-image that says that this is as good as it gets. Life gets no better than this. You can't go any higher than this. And that's simply not true. It is a picture that you have that says that. And the good news and the bad news of that is this right here. Here's the bad news. The bad news is if you don't like that picture, if you don't like the way it is, if you don't like the way it looks and everything, then you may be stuck there because you may say, this is as good as it gets for me. I can do no more than this. I can have no more than this. I can be no more than this. That is not the truth. Now, here's the good news. The good news is you can change the picture. That's right. I'm going to pause for effect right there. You can change that picture. Yes, you can. Remember, it is a self-image or a self-picture. You can change it. Now, here's the challenge for most people. They don't know how to change it. But Coach David, because I love you so much, Coach David is going to share with you how to change it. And if you start doing these things, you're going to start to see change in your life. But remember what I always tell you, change is not change until you change. So in order to do this, you're going to have to change that self-image. How do I do that? How do I do that? Well, here's what I'm going to share with you. I'm going to share 4 things that are very powerful. Number 1, think new thoughts about yourself. Now, I want you to think about this for a minute. If I continue to think the same thoughts about myself never ever sees anything new. If myself never ever sees anything or experiences something new, then I can't get anything new. I have no foundation. I have no proof. I have no evidence. That's the word. I have no evidence that things can be different. So I've got to begin to think new thoughts about myself. I got to begin to see myself a little bit differently. I got to see myself being able to be, to do, to have those things that I desire. And if I don't do that, then I can't see myself that way. Then I can't have things different. So the number 1 thing that I want you to begin to do is to think new thoughts about yourself. Now, here's something I know. We talk to ourselves more than anybody. Yes, we do. We have this inner talk that is always going on. And the inner talk comes from our inner thoughts. And if you think a certain way about yourself, like I can never do that, or I could never achieve that, if you have those kind of thoughts, you are putting a cap on yourself. And I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to limit yourself. I want you to get some new thoughts about you. And when you begin to get those new thoughts about you, you're going to see some new things about you. That's number 1. Number 2, see yourself as an individual like no one else on this earth. God made you unique. Okay. There is only one of you, and you are a very unique person. And you don't have to fall into the category of the status quo. You don't have to be like somebody told you you had to be. You need to get the self-image for yourself of what you're going to be. And just because some significant person told you that you were never, ever going to achieve this, or some other person told you that you could never, ever do this, you don't have to take that on. You got to see yourself differently. You got to think new thoughts, and you got to see yourself differently. Remember, you are unique. There is no one else like you. Like I tell everybody, and I say this all the time. I said, listen to this. I said, everybody else is taken. So be yourself. And that is the thing that we've got to get across. We've got to get it across even to our children even more that, hey, you're unique, you're an individual, and you can be different. You don't have to fit into what some teacher, some parent, or in some person you don't have to fit into that. You don't. And you can go higher than that. You can be more than that. You can do more than that. And you can have more than that. So that's number 2. See yourself differently. All right. Here's number 3. Forget the past failures. Oh my goodness. If I can just get you beyond this, forget your past failures. Listen, you did fail. You did have some shortcomings. You did have some of those things that were defeats. That's okay. Forget it. Let it go. Please let it go. Because here's the thing about it. I want you to think about this. When we say we forget the past, we can't move forward until we forget the past. Why? Because we're constantly reliving the past, going over and over, playing it over again. We got to stop that. Okay, we got to get beyond that. The past is the past. Here's something that I found out a long time ago, and it helped me. The past is the past. And when what we say somebody has passed away. And when we say they have passed away, we say that they are dead and they are gone. That is the way your past failures need to be. They need to have passed away. They are dead and they are gone. And they have no more effect on you than the power that you give to them. I'm going to say that again. Your past failures have no more effect on you than the power you give them. Well, how do I give them power, Coach David? You give them power every time you relive them on the canvas of your imagination. When you go back and you keep living this stuff over and over and over, is there any wonder that you don't keep getting the same results over and over and over? You have to think about that. Get beyond your past. Forget the past failures. That's number 3. Number 4, you have an obligation to yourself to make your life the very best that it can be. That's your obligation to yourself. You don't have to live by the status quo. You don't have to live by somebody else's quota. You don't have to have the conditions of your life set by someone else. You have an obligation to yourself to make your life the very best that it can be. So just because somebody told you that you could go no further than this, or just because somebody told you that this is the limit for you, you don't have to live by that. So I've given you 4 things that's going to change the picture. Think new thoughts. See yourself as a unique individual. Forget your past failures and make it an obligation to make your life the very best it can be. So as I wrap this up, I'm going to share something with you. And I really want you to listen to this part. And I want you to go back and listen to it again and again and again, because this is something that I discovered in my life. And one of my mentors helped me with this a lot. Each of us, every one of us, has within us an automatic goal fulfillment mechanism. It's put there by God Almighty, if you believe in God, but it's in you. It's in you. There is an automatic goal fulfilling mechanism within each and every one of us. But we got to get a picture of this within us. The mechanism that I'm talking about seeks any goal you feed into it. It's going to seek a positive goal. It's going to seek a negative goal. It is so impersonal, but it is there. And if you know how to use it to your benefit, great things come out of that. It's impersonal and it's automatic. It will function. You, however, have to present something to this mechanism. And what you present to this mechanism, it will impersonally and faithfully fulfill it. The question that you got to answer is, how do you present to it? How do you do that? I've given you a lot on today, and I'm going to stop right there, because next week, I'm going to show you how to present to it. But I want you to go back and listen to this part right now, because we're changing that self-image, and we're getting better and better by changing the self-image. So if you would do those things, great and wonderful things are coming your way. Listen, it has been awesome for me to talk to you on today. I hope that you have enjoyed this, and I hope that it takes you to a new level. But remember this right here. Just remember this. You are the architect of your life. And I, Coach David, I believe in you. I will see you on next week. Bye.